Hi, my name's Dan. I'm reading Football Dreams by Shaquille Woodson. No one was faster than my father on the football field. No one could keep him from crossing the line and touching down again. Coaches were watching the way he moved, his easy stride, his long arms reaching up, snatching the ball from its soft pockets of air. My father dreamed of football dreams and woke up to a scholarship at Ohio State University. Grown now, living a big city life in Columbus, just 60 miles from Nelsonville. And from there, Interstate 70 could get you on your way west to Chicago. Interstate 77 could take you south, but my father said no colored Buckeye in his right mind would want to go there. From Columbus, my father said, you can just go about anywhere. The end.
Hi, I'm Brody Nyan, and I will be reciting Fishing by A.E. Stallings. The two of them stood in the middle of the water, the current slipping away, quick and cold, the sun slow at his zenith, sweating gold. Maybe he regretted he had brought her. She'd rather been somewhere else, her look told. Perhaps a year ago, but now too old. Still she remembered lessons he had taught her, to cast toward shadows where the sunlight fails, and fishes shelter in the undergrowth. When the unseen strikes, how all else pales, beside the bright dart struggle, the rainbow wroth. Life and death weighed in shining scales, the invisible line pulled taut that links them both.
Hi, my name is Addison Otto, and today I'll be reciting The Albatross by Kate Bass. When I know you are coming home, I put on this necklace, glass beads on a silken thread, a blue that used to match my eyes. I like to think I am remembering you. I like to think you don't forget. The necklace lies heavy on my skin, it clatters as I reach down to lift my screaming child. I swing her, roll her in my arms until she forgets. The beads glitter in the flicker of a TV set. I sit her in my lap and wish away the afternoon. I wait until I hear a gate latch lift, the turn of key and lock. I sit amongst toys and unwashed clothes. I sit and she fingers the beads until you speak in a voice that no longer sounds familiar, only strange. I turn as our child tugs at the string. I hear a snap and a sound like falling rain.
My name is Arden Farrington, and I'm going to be reciting My Rock by Pat Mora. Summer's ending. I sit on my desert rock, listen to the world's hum. Crows and ravens caw, finches and sparrows chirp. A dog barks. Can I face the halls of judgments? A breeze strokes my face, brings me back to spiders and lizards busy at their chores. Private conversations, sights and sounds I savor. This earth, my home. High on the vast blue canvas, clouds curl, float. Taking a deep breath, I gather myself. I bring what I am.
My name is Via, and I'll be reciting A Caged Bird by Maya Angelou. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the currents end, and dips his wing in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky. But a bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown, but longed for still. And his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. The free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade winds soft through sighing trees. And the fat worms waiting on a dawn-bright lawn, and he names the sky his own. But a caged bird stands on the grave of dreams, his shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, For the caged bird sings of freedom.
Hi, my name is Nariah Turner, and I'll be reciting Envy by Mary Lamb. This rose tree was not made to bear the violet blue, nor lily fair, nor the sweet mignonette. And if this tree were discontent, or wished to fix its natural bent, it all in vain would fret. And should it fret, you would suppose it ne'er had seen its own red rose, nor after gentle showers had ever smelled its rose's scent, or it can ne'er be discontent with its own pretty flower. Like such a blind and senseless tree, as I've imagined this to be, all envious persons are. With care and culture, all may find some pretty flower in their own mind, some talent that is rare. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Delilah DeYoung, and I will be reciting Learning to Love America by Shirley Guklin Lim. Because it has no pure products, because the Pacific Ocean sweeps along the coastline, because the water of the ocean is cold, and because land is better than ocean. Because I say we rather than they. Because I live in California. I've eaten fresh artichokes and jacaranda bloom in April and May. Because my senses have caught up with my body, my breath with the air it swallows, my hunger with my mouth. Because I walk barefoot in my house. Because I've nursed my son at my breast, because he's a strong American boy. Because I've seen his eyes redden when he's asked who he is, because he answers, I don't know. Because to have a son is to have a country. Because my son will bury me here. Because countries are in our blood and we bleed them. Because it is late, and too late to change my mind. Because it is time. Thank you.
My name is Nathan Gregoire, and I'll be reciting Acquainted with the Night by Robert Frost. I have been one acquainted with the night. I've gone out in rain and back in rain. I have outwalked the furthest city light. I have looked down the saddest city lane. I have passed the watchman on his beat and dropped my eyes, unwilling to explain. I have stood still and stopped the sound of feet when far away an interrupted cry came over houses from another street. But not to call me back or say goodbye. And further still, at an unearthly height, one luminary clock against the sky proclaimed the time was neither wrong nor right. I have been one acquainted with the night. Thank you.
My name is Matthew Brancaccio, and I will be reciting Anthem from My Belly After I've Eaten Too Much by Kara Jackson. I look in the mirror and all the chips I've eaten this month have accumulated like schoolwork at the bottom of my tummy. My belly, a country I try to love. My mouth is a lover devoted to you, my belly, my belly. The birds will string a song together with wind for you and your army of solids, militia of grease. Americans love excess, but we also love jeans and refuse to make excess comfortable in them. I step into a fashionable prison, my middle managed and fastened into suffering. My glorious gut, dutiful dome, I will wear a house for you that you can live in. Promise walls that embrace your growing flesh and watch you reach out towards everything possible. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lila Harden, and I will be reading One Girl by Sappho. Like the sweet apple which reddens upon the topmost bough, atop the topmost twig, which the pluckers forgot somehow. Forgot it not, nay, but got it not, for none could get it till now. Like the wild hyacinth flower, which on the hills is found, which passing feet of shepherds forever tear and wound, until the purple blossom is trodden in the ground. Thank you.
My name is Ayan, and I'm gonna be performing Making Jump Shots. He waltzed into the lane, crossed the free throw line, fakes the drive, pivots, floats from the asphalt turf in the arc of black light, and sinks two into the chains. 1-on-1, he fakes down the main, passes to the free lane, and hits the chains. A sniff in the fallen air, he stuffs it through the chains. Riding high, traveling, someone calls, and he laughs, stepping to a silent beat, gliding as he sinks two into the chains. That's the
my name is Keely Tui, and I will be reciting Listening in Deep Space by Diane Thiel. We've always been looking out for answers, telling stories about ourselves, searching for connection, choosing to send out Stravinsky and Whale Song, which, in translation, might very well be our undoing instead of a welcome. We launched satellites, probes, telescopes, unfolding like origami, navigating geomagnetic storms, major disruptions. Rovers with spirit and perseverance, mapping the unknown. We listened through large arrays, adjusted eagerly to hear the news that we are not alone. Considering the history at home, in houses across continents, oceans, even in quests armed with good intentions, with what one seeker has done to another, what will we do when we find each other? Thank you.
Hi, my name is Eddie White. I'll be reciting 300 Goats by Naomi Shahib Nye. In icy fields, is water flowing in the tank? Will they huddle together, warm bodies pressing? Is it the year of the goat or the sheep? Scholars debating Chinese zodiac, follower or leader. Oh, lead them to a warm corner, little ones toward bulkier bodies. Lead them to the brush which cuts the icy wind. Another frigid night swooping down. Aren't you worried about them? I ask my friend, who lives by herself on the ranch of goats. Far from here, near the town of Ozona. She shrugs. Not really. They know what to do. They're goats. Thank you.
My name is Glera, and I'm going to perform Ways of Talking. Ways of Talking by Hachi. We used to like talking about grief. Our journals and letters were packed with losses, complaints, and sorrows. Even if there was no grief, we wouldn't stop lamenting as the longing for the charm of a distressed face. Then we couldn't help expressing grief. So many things descended without warning. Labor wasted, loves lost, houses gone, marriages broken, friends estranged, ambitions worn away by immediate needs. Words light up in our throats for a good whining. Grief seemed like an endless river, the only immortal flow of life. After losing a land and then giving up a tongue, we stopped talking of grief. Smiles began to brighten our faces. We laugh a lot at our own mess. Things become beautiful, even hailstones and the strawberry fields.
My name is Isaiah. I'll be performing Nowhere Else to Go by Linda Sue Park. Turn off the lights, wear another layer. Sounds like a dad, sounds like a mom. You say hand me down, I say retro. No, I don't got it. Yeah, walk. Oh yeah, walk, bike, walk some more, recycle. See what I did there? Bike, recycle. Your name and Sharpie on a good water bottle. Backpack, new habits. No thanks, don't need a bag. What else? Oh yeah, tell 10 friends. Who could tell 10 friends? Who could tell 10 friends? Make enough noise so the adults can finally hear the scream in the title. That's it.
Hi, my name is Rosalind Moss, and today I'll be reading 300 Goats by Naomi. Icy field, is water flowing in the tank? Will they huddle together, warm bodies pressing? Is it the year of the goat or the sheep? Scholars debating Chinese zodiac, follower or leader? Oh, lead them to a warmer corner, little ones toward bulkier bodies. Lead them to the brush which cut the icy winds, another frigid night swooping down. Aren't you worried about them? I asked my friend, who lives by herself on a ranch of goats, far from here, near the town of Ozana. She shrugs, not really. They know what to do. They're goats. Thank you.
My name is Annabella DiGiacomo, and I'll be reciting Nowhere Else to Go by Linda Sue Park. Turn off the lights. Wear another layer. Sounds like a dad. Sounds like a mom. You say hand-me-down, I say retro. Walk, bike, walk some more, recycle. See what I did there? Bike, recycle. Your name in Sharpie on a good water bottle. Backpack, new habits, no thanks, don't need a bag. What else? Oh yeah. Tell 10 friends to tell 10 friends who can tell 10 friends. Make enough noise. Maybe the grown-ups will finally hear the scream in the title.
Hi, my name is Grace Curley, and I will be reciting Because I Will Be Silenced by Hod Jean. Once I have the freedom to say, my tongue will lose its power. Since my poems strive to break the walls that cut off people's voices, they become drills and hammers. But I will be silenced. The starred tie around my neck at any moment can tighten into a cobra. How can I speak about coffee and flowers? Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nayeli Guardado. I'll be performing 300 Goats by Naomi Shihab Nye. In icy fields, is water flowing in the tank? Will they huddle together, warm bodies pressing? Is it the year of the goat or the sheep? Chinese scholar debating Chinese zodiac. Line. Oh, lead them to a warm corner. Little ones toward bulkier bodies. Lead them to the bush which cuts the icy wind, another frigid night swooping down. Aren't you worried about them? I asked my friend from Ozona, who lives in the town of Ozona, far from here, on the ranch of goats. She shrugs. Not really. They know what to do. They're goats. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Eliza Bunshu. I will be reciting The Mortician in San Francisco by Randall Mann. This may sound queer, but in 1985, I held the delicate hands of Dan White. I prepared him for burial. By then, Harvey Milk was made monument. No, myth by the year since he was shot. I remember when Harvey was shot. 20, and I knew I was queer. Those were the years, Levi's and leather jackets, holding hands on Castro Street, cheering for Harvey Milk, elected on the same day as Dan White. I often wonder about Supervisor White, who fatally shot Mara Moscone and Supervisor Milk, who was one of us, a Castro queer. May 21st, 1979, the jury hands down the sentence, 7 years, in truth 5 years, for ex-cop, ex-fireman Dan White for the blood on his hands when he confessed that he had shot the mayor and the queer. A few men in blue cheered, and Harvey Milk? Why cry over spilled milk? Some wondered semi-privately for years. It meant one less queer. The jurors turned to White. If just the mayor had been shot, Dan might have had some trouble on his hands. But the 12 who held his life in their hands maybe didn't mind the death of Harvey Milk. Maybe the second murder offered him a shot at serving only a few years. In the end, he committed suicide, this Dan White, and he was made presentable by a queer.
I'm Braden McCarthy, and my poem is Acquainted with the Night by Robert Frost. I've been one acquainted with the night. I've walked out in rain and back in rain. I've outlooked the furthest light. I've walked down the saddest city lane. I've passed by the watchman on his beat and dropped my eyes, unwilling to explain. I've stopped the sound of my feet when an interrupted cry came over from another street, but not to call me back or say goodbye. And further still, an unearthly height, one luminary clock against the sky, proclaimed the time was neither wrong nor right. I've been one acquainted with the night.
I'm Sean Freddo, and this is After the Winter by Claude McCade. Someday, when the trees have shed their leaves and against the morning's white, the shivering birds beneath the eaves have sheltered for the night. We'll turn our faces southward, love, toward the summer isle, where bamboo spire the shafted grove and wide-mouthed orchids smile. And we will seek the quiet hill where towers the cotton tree, and leaps the laughing crystal rill, and works the droning bee. And we will build a cottage there beside an open glade, with black-ribbed bluebells blowing near and ferns that never fade. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lila, and I'll be reciting On an Unsociable Family by Elizabeth Hans. Oh, what a strange parcel of creatures are we, scarce, ever to quarrel, or even agree. We all are alone, though at home all together, except to the fire, constrained by the weather. Then one says, "'Tis cold," which we all of us know, and with unanimity answer, "'Tis so." With shrugs and with shivers, all look to the fire and shuffle ourselves in our chairs a bit nigher. Then, quickly, preceded by silence, a yawn epidemical goes around. Like social companions, we never fall out or care what one another's about. To comfort ourselves is never our plan, for to please ourselves truly is more than we can. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Claire Cajun, and I'll be reading A Boat Beneath the Sunny Sky by Lewis Carroll. A boat beneath a sunny sky, lingering onward dreamingly, in an evening of July. Children three that nestle near, eager eye and willing ear, pleased a simple tale to hear. Long has paled that sunny sky, echoes fade and memories die, autumn frosts have slain July. Still she haunts me, phantom wise, Alice moving under skies, never seen by waking eyes. Children yet, the tale to hear, eager eye and willing ear, lovingly shall nestle near. In a wonderland they lie, dreaming as the days go by, dreaming as the summers die. Ever drifting down the stream, lingering in the golden gleam, life, what is it but a dream?
Hello, everyone. My name is Madison Franco, and I'll be reciting Enemies by Wendell Berry. If you are not to become a monster, you must care what they think. If you care what they think, how will you not hate them? And so become a monster of the opposite kind. From where then is love to come? Love for your enemy. That is the way of liberty from forgiveness. Forgiven they go, and free of you, and you of them. They are to you as sunlight on a green branch. You must not think of them again, except as monsters like yourself, pitiable because unforgiving.
Hi, my name is Kathleen Ramos, and I'll be reciting The Man He Killed by Thomas Hardy. Had he and I but met by some old ancient inn, we should have sat us down to wet, right many a nipperkin. Though ranged as infantry and staring face to face, I shot at him as he at me, killing him in his place. I killed him because he was my foe. My foe, of course he was, that's clear enough, although he thought he'd list perhaps offhand, just as I was out of work, had sold his traps, no other reason why. Yes, quaint and curious war is. You shoot a fellow down, you treat if met where any bar is, or help to half a crown. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Harry. This is Abandoned Farmhouse. He was a big man, says the size of his shoes on a pile of broken dishes by the house. A tall man, too, says the length of his bed in an upstairs room. And a good, God-fearing man, says the Bible with a broken back on the floor below the window, dusty with sun. But not a man for farming, say the fields cluttered with boulders and the leaky barn. A woman lived with him, says the bedroom wall papered with lilacs and the kitchen shelves covered with oilcloth. And they had a child, says the sandbox made from a tractor tire. Money was scarce, says the jars of plum preserves and canned tomatoes sealed in the cellar hole. And the winter's cold, say the rags in the window frames. It was lonely here, says the narrow country road. Something went wrong, says the empty house in the weed-choked yard. Stones in the field say he was not a farmer. Still sealed jars in the cellar say she left in a nervous haste. And the child, its toys strewn in the yard like branches after a storm. A rubber cow, a rusty tractor with a broken plow, and a doll in overalls. Something went wrong, they say.
My name's Tiffany Miranda, and I'm doing an anthem for my belly after eating too much. I look in the mirror, and all the chips I've eaten this month have accumulated like schoolwork at the bottom of my tummy. My belly, a country I'm trying to love. My mouth is a lover devoted to you, my belly, my belly. The birds will string together a song for you, for wind and your army of solids, militia of Greece. Americans love excess, but we also love jeans, and we hate to make excess comfortable in them. I refuse to make excess comfortable in them. I step into a fashionable prison, my middle managed and fastened into suffering, my gracious gut. Beautiful dome, I will wear a house for you, which you can live in. Promise walls that embrace your growing flesh and watch you reach towards everything you want.
My name is Jacente, and I'll be reciting the poem We Are Not Responsible by Harriet Mullen. We are not responsible for your lost or stolen relatives. We cannot guarantee your safety if you disobey our instructions. We do not endorse causes or claims of people begging for handouts. We reserve the right to refuse service to anyone. Your ticket cannot guarantee that we honor your reservations. To facilitate our procedures, please limit your carry-on. Before taking off, please extinguish all smoldering resentments. If you cannot understand English, you will be moved out of the way. In the event of a loss, you better look out for yourself. Your insurance was canceled because we can no longer take your frightful claims. Our handlers lost your luggage and are unable to find the key to your legal case. You were detained for interrogation because you fit the profile. You are not presumed to be innocent if police have a reason to suspect you are carrying a concealed wallet. It's not our fault you're born wearing a gang color. It is not our obligation to inform you of your rights. Step aside, please, while our officer inspects your bad attitude. You have no rights we are bound to respect. Please remain calm, or we will not be held responsible for what happens to you. Thank you.
My name is Rowan Camarano. I'm performing Summer by Chen Chen. You are the ice cream sandwich connoisseur of your generation. Blessed are your floral shorteralls, your deeply pink fanny pack with travel-sized lint roller, just in case. Level of splendiferous in your outfit, 200. Types of pain stemming from adolescent disasters in classrooms, locker rooms, and quite often Toyota Camrys, at least 10,000. You are a Jigglypuff, not yet a Wigglytuff. Reporters and fathers call your generation the worst, which really means that queer kids could go online and find out that queer doesn't have to mean disaster or dead. Instead, queer means splendiferously you, and you are someone who knows that the most common flavors for ice cream sandwiches in Singapore include red bean, yam, and honeydew. Your powers are great, are growing. One day, you will create an online personality quiz that also freshens the breath. The next day, you will tell your father, you were wrong to say I had to change. to make me promise and promise and promise. Thank you.
I'm Elena Gonzalez, and I'll be reciting Abandoned Farmhouse by Ted Kooser. He was a big man, says the size of his shoes, on a pile of broken dishes by the house. A tall man, too, says the length of the bed in an upstairs room. And a good, God-fearing man, says the Bible with a broken back, on the floor below the window, dusty with sun. But not a man for farming, say the fields cluttered with boulders and the leaky barn. A woman lived with him, says the bedroom wall papered with lilacs and the kitchen shelves covered with oilcloth. And they had a child, says the sandbox made from a tractor tire. Money was scarce, say the jars of plum preserves and canned tomatoes sealed in the cellar hole. And the winter's cold, say the rags in the window frames. It was lonely here, says the narrow country road. Something went wrong, says the empty house in the weed-choked yard. Stones in the field say he was not a farmer. The still-sealed jars in the cellar say she left in a nervous haste. And the child? Its toys are strewn in the yard like branches after a storm. A rubber cow, a rusty tractor with a broken plow, a doll in overalls. Something went wrong, they say.
I'm Shavoria, and this is Invitation to Love by Paul Laurence Dunbar. Come when the nights are bright with stars, or come when the moon is mellow. Come when the sun his golden bars drops on the hayfield yellow. Come in the twilight, soft and gray. Come in the night, or come in the day. Come, O love, whene'er you may. And you are welcome. Welcome. You are sweet, O love, dear love. You are soft as the nesting dove. Come to my heart and bring it to rest as the bird flies home to its welcome nest. Come when my heart is full of grief or when my heart is merry. Come with the falling of the leaf or with the reddening cherry. Come when the year's first blossom blows. Come when the summer gleams and glows. Come with the winter's drifting snow, and you are welcome. Welcome.
My name is Sam Crowley, and my poem is Advice to a Prophet by Richard Wilbur. When you come, as you soon must, to the streets of our city, mad-eyed from stating the obvious, not proclaiming our fall, but begging us in God's name to have self-pity. Spare us a word of the weapons, their force and range, the long numbers that rocket the mind. Our slow, unreckoning hearts will be left behind, unable to fear what is too strange. Nor shall you scare us with talk of the death of the race. How should we dream of this place without us? The sun, mere fire, the leaves untroubled about us, a stone look on the stone's face. Speak of the world's own change. Though we cannot conceive of an undreamt thing, we know by our cost how the dreamt cloud crumbles. The vines are blackened by frost, how the view alters. We could believe, if you told us so, that the white-tailed deer will slip into perfect shade, grown perfectly shy. The lark avoid the reaches of our eye, the jack pine loose its knuckled grip on the cold ledge, and every torrent burn as Xanthus once, its gliding trout stunned in a twinkling. What would we be without the dolphin's ark, the dove's return? These are the things we have seen ourselves and spoken. Ask us, prophet, how we shall call our natures forth when that live tongue is all dispelled, the glass obscured or broken in which we have said the rose of our love and the clean horse of our courage, in which beheld the singing locust of our soul unshelled, and all we mean or wish to mean. Ask us rather the wordless rose, our heart shall fail us. Come demanding, rather they'll be lofty or long-standing when the bronze annals of the oak tree close.
My name's Lily Raposo. I'm doing After Apple Picking by Robert Frost. Sorry. Oh my God, I'm blanking. 1 second. My long two-pointed ladder's sticking through a tree toward heaven still, and there's a barrel that I didn't fill beside it, and there may be 2 or 3 apples I didn't pick upon some bough, but I am done with apple picking now. Essence of winter sleep is on the night. The scent of apples, I am drowsing off. I cannot rub the strangeness from my sight I got from looking through a pane of glass I skimmed this morning from the drinking trough and held against the world of hoary grass. It melted, and I let it fall and break. But I was well upon my way to sleeping before it fell, and I could tell what form my dreaming was about to take. Magnified apples appear and disappear, stem end and blossom end, every fleck of russet showing clear. My instep arch not only keeps the ache, it keeps the pressure of a ladder round, and I feel the ladder sway as the boughs bend, and I keep hearing from the cellar bin the rumbling sound of load on load of apples coming in. For I've had too much of apple picking. I am overtired of the great harvest I myself desired. There were 10,000 fruit to touch, cherish in hand, lift down, and not let fall. For all that struck the earth, the matter if not bruised or spiked with stubble, went surely to the cider apple heap, as of no worth. One can see what will trouble the sleep of mine, whatever sleep it is. Were he not gone, the woodchuck could say whether it's like his long sleep, as I've described its coming on, or just some human sleep. Thank you.
My name's Victoria, and I'll be reciting the poem After Love by Sarah Teasdale. There is no magic anymore. We meet as other people do. You work no miracle for me, nor I for you. You were the wind and I the sea. There is no splendor anymore. I've grown listless as a pool beside the shore. I've grown listless as a pool beside the shore. But though the pool is safe from storm and from the tide has found surcease, it grows more bitter than the sea for all its peace.
Hello, my name is Brady Kundle, and I will be reciting After the Winter by Claude McKay. One day, when the trees have shed their leaves, and against the morning's white, the shivering birds beneath the eaves have sheltered for the night. We'll turn our faces southward, love, toward the southern isle, where bamboos spire the shafted grove and wide-mouthed orchids smile. And we will seek the quiet hill where towers the cotton tree, and leaps the laughing crystal rill, and works the droning bee. And we will build a cottage there beside an open glade, with black-ribbed bluebells flowing near, and ferns that never fade. Thank you.
My name is Toby Everett, and I'll be reciting Illumination by Elizabeth Woody. The irresistible and benevolent light brushes through the angel-wing begonias, the clippings of ruddy ears for the living room. Intimate motes, debris of grounded, forlorn walks, speckle through the vitreous quality of blush. As fluid lulls turn like troutbacks, azure-tipped fins oscillate in the shallows. The clear floating is dizziness. Line. Tender events are meeting halves and wholes of affinity. The recurrence of whimsy in parallel streams flush away the blockage of malaise. Incessant gratitude, pliable kindness smolders in the husk of these sweet accumulations. Abalone shells, the thoughtful carvings from friends, the stone of another's pocket, the photo of mystified moon over water, the smiles of worn chairs. Austere hopes find pleasure in lately cherished flowers. The blooms are articulate deluge, hues of delicacy. Petals parted dim renderings, the viable imprint of the blood-hot beam of light with reformed courage. Beveling the finish to suppression, the blade of choice brings the flourish of dividing while adequately doubling worth by 2, multiplying. The luminescent burning of space, the heat is a domicile as abandoned as red roses budding their ascension from stem. The sun has its own place The sun has its own drum, contenting itself with the rose heart it takes into continual rumbling, the connection of surface and hand. The great head of dark clouds finds its own place of unraveled repercussion and disruption elsewhere over the tall, staunch mountains of indemnity. Thank you.
My name is Addie, and today I'll be reciting The Albatross by Kate Bass. When I know you are coming home, I put on this necklace, glass beads on a silken thread, a blue that used to match my eyes. I like to think that I am remembering you. I like to think you don't forget. The necklace lies heavy on my skin. It clatters as I reach down to lift my screaming child. I roll her, swing her in my arms until she forgets. The beads glitter in the flicker of a TV set. I sit her in my lap and wish away the afternoon. I wait until I hear a gate latch lift, the turn of key and lock. I sit amongst toys and unwashed clothes. I sit and she fingers the beads until you speak in a voice that no longer sounds familiar, only strange. I turn my head as our child tugs at the string. I hear a snap and a sound like falling rain.
My name is Elijah Greenberg. This is Hunger for Something by Chase Twitchell. Sometimes I long to be the woodpile, cut apart trees, soon to be smoke or even the smoke itself, sinewy ghost of ash and air going wherever I want to, at least for a while. Neither inside nor out, neither lost nor home, no longer a shape or a name. I'd pass through all the broken windows of the world. It's not a wish for consciousness to end. It's not the appetite an army has for its own emptying heart, but a hunger to stand now and then, alone on the death grounds where the dogs of the self are feeding. Thank you.
My name is Enzo Santos, and my poem is The Days Gone By James Whitcomb Riley. Oh, the days gone by, oh, the days gone by, the apples in the orchard and the pathway through the rye, the chirrup of the robin and the whistle of the quail, as he piped across the meadow, sweet as any nightingale. When the bloom was on the clover and the blue was in the sky, as my happy heart brimmed over in the days gone by. In the days gone by, when my naked feet were tripped by the honeysuckle's tangles where the water lilies dipped, and the ripples of the river lipped the moss along the brink, where the placid-eyed and lazy-footed cattle came to drink, and the tilting snipes stood fearless of the truant's wayward cry, and the splashing of the swimmer in the days gone by. Oh, the days gone by, oh, the days gone by, the music of the laughing lip and the luster of the eye, the childish faith in fairies and Aladdin's magic ring, the simple, soul-reposing, glad belief in everything, when life was like a story, holding neither sob nor sigh, in the golden olden glory of the days gone by. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Reverend Dubner, and I will be reciting Flitas Passadas Lesbi by Catullus. Lugete ovidens cubinesque, equantem est hominem vicerem, passer mortuus est mai passer, dictae mai pellalae, quam plus elai ocuras suis amabat. Nun nam melitus erat sumaque norat. Isbam tem bene clam puelai not mutrem, nexisse e gremlin elais muevat. Sed sicem silas moto illuc ad solem dutanum uxque piperbat. Qui nunc et per iter terscabat illuc unde negalin ridere quemquam. Et vivos male senebat oric, quandam ome bella duevas. Non bella mihi passeres ablusae, o factum male, o misere paster. Tua nunc opere mere pelae, fuende tui duli rubent oculi. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Cairo Dos Santos, and I will be reciting Fairy Tale with Laryngitis and Resignation Letter by Jahan Boudreau. You remember the mermaid makes a deal, her tongue evicted from her throat, and moving is a knife cut with every step. This is what escape from water means. Dear colleagues, you write. For weeks, I've been typing this letter in the bright kingdom of my imagination. Your body is a ship of pain. Pleasure is when you climb the rocks and watch the moonlight touching everywhere you want to go, a place called far away. Dear colleagues, you write. This place is a few sentences contained by the cursor's rippling barrier. What happened here is only breaks and brackets, the serif's liquid stroke. The old story has witches, a prince in love with the surging silence of women, a knife that turns the water red. You write, dear colleagues, now, line. Now these years are filed in the infinite oceans of bureaucracy. Everything bleaches or fades. In other words, goodbye. Sometimes it's possible to walk, even though you've been told in the oyster shell of your heart, there is no soul. Creatures like you must end a spray of salt, green droplets floating breathless in the air. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Avery Thomas, and this is The Obligation to Be Happy by Linda Pastan. It is more onerous than the rights of beauty or housework, harder than love, but you expect it of me casually. The way you expect the sun to come up, not in spite of rain or clouds, but because of them. And so I smile, as if my own fidelity to sadness were a hidden vice, that downward tug on my mouth, my old suspicion that health and love are brief irrelevancies, no more than laughter in the warm dark strangled at dawn. Happiness. I tried to hoist it on my narrow shoulders, again, a knapsack heavy with gold coins. I stumble around the house, bump into things. Only Midas himself would understand.
I'm Ella DeVoe, and this is The Obligation to Be Happy by Linda Pastan. It is more onerous than the rites of beauty or housework, but you expect it of me casually, the way you expect the sun to come up, not in spite of rain or clouds, but because of them. And so I smile, as if my own fidelity to sadness were a hidden vice, that downward tug on my mouth, my old suspicion that health and love are brief irrelevancies, no more than laughter in the warm, dark strangle at dawn. Happiness. I try to hoist it on my narrow shoulders again, a knapsack heavy with gold coins. I stumble around the house, bump into things only Midas himself would understand.
Hi again. My name is Via Fair, and this is A Caged Bird by Maya Angelou. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends, and dips his wing in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky. But a bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. The free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade winds soft through the sighing trees, and the fat worms waiting on the dawn-bright lawn, and he names the sky his own. But a caged bird stands on the graves of dreams. His shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. His wings are clipped, and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom.
I'm Josh. This is Kyle. We're doing Nothing Gold Can Stay by Robert Frost. All right. Nature's first green is gold. Her hardest hue is to hold. Her early leaves to flower, but only so an hour.
Then leaf subsides to leaf, so Eden sank to grief. So dawn goes to day, nothing gold can stay.
I'm Juliana.
And I'm Beatrice.
And we're reciting Holding Court by Jacob Senez. Today I became king of the court. Today I became king of the court without a diamond encrusted crown thrust upon my head. Instead, my markings of royalty were a t-shirt draping my body like a robe, soaked in champagne and my pain in my right knee.
A sign of a battle endured, my will tested and vested, as the ball left my hands. To the heart of a target, my fingers feeling ringless, yet like gold.
Hi, my name is Parker, and I'm going to be reading Safe in Their Alabaster Chambers by Emily Dickinson. Safe in their alabaster chambers, untouched by morning and untouched by noon, sleep the meek and members of the resurrection, rafter of satin and roof of stone. Grand go the years in the crescent above them, words scoop their arcs and firmaments row, diadems drop, and doges surrender, soundless as dots on a disk of snow.
My name is Vivian, and I'm doing Sharp by Stuart Dicker. A man steps out of sunlight that streams like grace, still gapping at blue sky across the emptiness of space, into a historical where shadows assume the human face. A man splits into silence that began a cry, still trailing music out through reduced to sing, of according as it fall in the case.
Hi,
Hi, my name is Mayani Cowillo, and I'm reading The Tide Rises, The Tide Falls by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. The tide rises, the tide falls. The twilight darkens, the curlew calls. Along the sea sand, damp and brown, the traveler hastens towards the town. And the tide rises, the tide falls. Darkness settles on roofs and walls, but the sea in the darkness calls. Along the sea, the little waves with their soft white hands efface the footprints in the sand. And the tide rises, the tide falls. The morning breaks, the steeds in their stalls stamp and neigh as the hostler calls. The day returns, but nevermore returns the traveler to the shore, and the tide rises, the tide falls.
My poem is Recess by Maria Hummel. This is the sound of the bell. It rings, full of brass, and the end it brings. One's for the children, one's for the child, who sits alone, his eyes hurt and mild. He waits, holding his things. Time should hold no meaning for him yet. You don't learn how to play, you forget. But he knows a while well and longs for the clang of the bell. A bell is a room of nothing. No, a dome with a hidden swing. A will, a sway, a tone, a peal, the beginning of a new song. The wild crowd nears, passes laughing. Here's the sound of the bell.
My name is Giovanna, and I'll be reciting Nowhere Else to Go by Linda Sue Park. Turn off the lights, we're another layer. Sounds like a dad, sounds like a mom. You say hand-me-down, I say retro. Walk, bike, walk some more, recycle. See what I did there? Bike, recycle. Your name in Sharpie on a good water bottle. Backpack, new habits. No thanks, don't need a bag. What else? Oh yeah, tell 10 friends. Who can tell 10 friends? Who can tell 10 friends? Make enough noise, maybe the grown-ups will finally hear the scream in the title.
My poem is called The Debt by Paul Laurence Dunbar. This is the debt I pay, just for one righteous day. Years of regret and grief, sorrow without relief. Pay it I will to the end, until the grave, my friend. Gives me a true release, gives me the clasp of peace. Slight was the thing I bought. Small was a debt I thought. Poor was a loan at best. God, but the interest.
My name is Isabella Locks, and I'll be reciting Early Affection by George Moses Horton. I loved thee from the earliest dawn when I first saw thy beauty's ray, and will, until life's eve comes on, and beauty's blossom fades away, and all things go with thee, with smiles and tears, remember me. I'll love thee when thy morn is past, and weeding gallantry is o'er, and when youth is lost and age is blast, and beauty can ascend no more, and life's journey ends with thee, oh, then look back and think of me. I'll love thee with a smile or a frown, mid sorrow's gloom and pleasure's light. And when the chain of life runs down, pursue thy last eternal flight. And when thou hast spread thy wings to flee, still, a moment, wait for me. I'll love these sparkling eyes, to which my fondness was betrayed, bearing the tincture of the skies, to glow when other beauties fade. And when they sing too low to see, oh, hold on, line? Oh, reflect an azure beam on me.
My name is Barbara, and my poem is
Light Shining Out of Darkness by William Cowper. God moved in a mysterious way, his wonder to perform. He plants his footstep in the sea and rides upon the storm. Deep and unfathomable minds of never-failing skills. He treasure up his bright design and work his sovereign will. Your fearful sense, fresh courage take, the cloud you so much dread are big with mercy and shall break in blessings on your head. Judge not the Lord by feeble sense, but trust in his grace. Behind a frowning providence, he hide a smiling face. Sorry. Why? His purpose will ripen fast, unfolding every hour. The bud may have a bitter taste, but sweet will be the flower. Blind unbelief is sure to hear, and judge his work in vain. God is his own interpreter, and he will make it plain. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mikhail Malcolm, and I will be reciting Epitaph by Catherine Phillips. On her son, H.P. at St. Sive Church, where her body also lies interred. What on earth deserves our trust? Youth and beauty both are dust. Long we gathering oil with pain, what one moment calls again. 7 years, childless, marriage past, a son is born at last. So exactly limbed and fair, full of good spirits, mean and air. As a long life promised, yet in less than 6 weeks, dead. Too promising, too great a mind, therefore as fit in heaven to dwell, as he quickly broke the prison shell. So the subtle alchemist can't with Hermes' seal resist the powerful spirit's subtler flight, but 'twill bid him long good night. And so the sun, if it arise, half so glorious as his eyes, like this infant takes a shroud, buried in a morning cloud.
My name is Kevin DeFutis, and my poem is The Arrow in the Song by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. I shot an arrow into the air. It fell to earth, I knew not where. For so swiftly it flew, the sight could not follow it in its flight. I breathed a song into the air. It fell to earth, I knew not where. For who has sight so keen and strong that it can follow the flight of song? Long, long afterward, in an oak, I found the arrow, still unbroke, and the song, from beginning to end, I found again in the heart of a friend.
My name is Andre. My poem is After the War by Rachel Galvin. For Joseph Lum, when he got to the farmhouse, he rifled through the cabinets, drawers, and cupboards. And his buddies did too. The place was abandoned, or so he thought, and his buddies did too. He tried talking to people in town, and his buddies did too. But he was the only one who Yiddish made it across into German. They took his meaning Hein? He in the farmhouse took a camera and a gun. But his buddies, who knows? About the gun, it's also hard to say. But after the war, he took up photography. And why not? He shot beautiful women for years. And I got pretty good at it. And how? Won prizes and engraved plates, but put them in a drawer, forgot the war, forgot his buddies, forgot the woman, forgot the drawer, and that's it.
I'm Logan Brulette, and this is a hymn to God the Father by John Donne. Wilt thou forgive that sin where I begun, which was my sin, though it were done before? Wilt thou forgive that sin through which I still run, and do still, though still I do deplore? When thou hast done, thou hast not done, for I have more. Wilt thou forgive, Wilt thou forgive that sin which I have won others to sin, and made my sin their door? Wilt thou forgive that sin which I did shun a year or two ago, but wallowed in a score? When thou hast done, thou hast not done, for I have more. I have a sin of fear that when I have spun my last thread and shall perish on the shore, but swear by thyself, and that at my death thy sun shall shine as he shines now and heretofore. And having done that thou hast done, I fear no more.